So off the tip, it's Toronto. Here are the starters for Los Angeles. Under down low at 4 with Harrell in the middle. Beverly and Williams, the guard tandem. And it's George in at the 3, the small forward. Gasol finds Van Vliet. Teardrop shot, and that's 2 points on the layup.
Well, instead of forcing it all the way to the cup, he just goes with that little teardrop.
George against Powell. And George, here we go.
To tell you, Kevin, that's Paul George with true strength on the take, not allowing anyone to get in his way.
Lowry passes to Gasol. Back to Lowry. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
To me, Greg, that's a complete lack of communication on that side of the ball. These guys need to be talking to each other.
Now George lets it go with a 3. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Raptors lead by 2. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And we hope you're enjoying the game. Both teams tonight keeping things pretty even so far on the scoreboard. And guys, what's your take on Toronto so far?
Well, the offense is clicking, and they seem to have seized the momentum here early on.
Boy, it's been a really pretty thing to watch, executing their game plan to perfection.
And here is Los Angeles now. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. Setting the floor for the Raptors. Anunoby out there with Ibaka. Then there's Lowry, and it's McCaw in a 2-guard. Here's McCaw, and Ibaka slams it in.
Boy, remarkable strength with Ibaka, right? Fends off whatever the defense throws his way, converts through contact. That's nice.
And Greg, last season, the best scoring average of Serge Ibaka's career.
Even with a down year as far as his three-point shooting, Ibaka's still very efficient, getting more of his offense around the rim, playing some at the 5.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
The free throw drops for Ibaka.
And Toronto choosing their team name back in '94. The fans helped them narrow it down, and with dinosaurs all over the silver screen, it helped tilt things towards the Raptors.
And we all remember those early uniforms, those giant velociraptors across the front. Fortunately, they've toned it down a bit since then.
With that shot, the Raptor lead is cut down to just 3 on the basket from Green.
Oh, that's a pretty bounce pass. Nice.
Beverly against Lowry.
Well, that's the wingspan of Paul George. He is so good at bothering shooters with that length.
And a close game so far through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Toronto ahead. They're up by 3. We'll be back shortly, live from Toronto.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, folks. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. It's the NBA on 2K Sports, and let's talk the first half. The first quarter for the Raptors was fairly even. At the end of the period, they held a 2-point lead. They battled hard in the second quarter, and it was reflected on the scoreboard. And taking a look at the Raptors, Kenny, what did you see out there?
I was super impressed with their shot selection. I think that was part of the strategy coming in. They wanted to be patient with the basketball, move it around, and get high percentage looks.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're now just a few minutes away from the start of the third quarter.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. And it's the Clippers' ball. They trail by 3, and the Clippers, looking at who they've got, the 2 stars, George and Leonard, fill up the forward slots. Beverly and Williams, the guard tandem. And it's Harrell in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And it's Lowry with the ball, brings it up for the Toronto Raptors. Powell, no one around him, no good from outside.
He is too good a shooter, guys, to be left open like that. The defense just dodged a bullet there.
That one good for 2. George has got his second bucket of the night.
Oh, Kevin, that's not an easy play. Paul George is an extraordinary player. Keeps his eye on the bucket at all times.
Powell finds Siakam, lays it up off the glass.
Important points there. Got him on a nice play, getting the ball inside and right to the bucket.
George against Powell. Here's George. The shot misses, and he wants that one back. We're at the end of the third, and we've still got a close one. Raptors lead by 3. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And it's been a very competitive game so far as we get rolling here in quarter number 4. Here's Toronto now. It's a 3-point game. Siakam and Ibaka, the duo down low. McCaw is out there with Fred VanVleet. And it's Hollis Jefferson in at the small forward. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors. And too much time in the lane. They get called for the 3-second violation.
Boy, that's the last thing they needed. This game too close to be making those kinds of errors.
And the Clippers call time here. They're down by 3. There's 45 seconds left to play here in the 4th. On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Oldham.
Well, during the break, I listened in on Doc Rivers talking to the team. He told them, hey, guys, this is a close game, but if we execute right here, I like our chances. There's no need for hero ball. Trust one another. Make the simple play. Kevin, back to you.
Goes up on the wing. McCaw grabs the miss. To the inside. There's 25 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And the officials will call the illegal screen right there.
And not the most common call you'll see in the NBA, but hard to argue that pick wasn't illegal.
It is really difficult to get your feet completely set, to stay completely still. It's almost surprising to me that it isn't called more often.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Marc Gasol's checked in for Ibaka. Norman Powell comes in for Rondé Hollis Jefferson. And Kyle Lowry subbed in for McCaw. Now the presentation of our Jordan player of the game, Kyle Lowry.
And tell you what, he's worked very hard to get himself in good position throughout the course of this game. And that comes across in his shooting percentage. He's hit over half his shots from the field. And that's not because he got hot as much as it's because of the effort he put in to get himself open. Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Shooting 2.
Gets the first, and that brings them within 2 here.
And throughout his career, Beverly has remained a pest, an aggressive defender that no one likes having him guard.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
Had to foul and on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
And And so they foul intentionally. And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. And he ends up making the second, and that makes it a 3-point lead. We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter. George, that's a two-pointer. And it's Gasol with the rebound.
And if that's the best look you can get on a possession, what a waste of a trip down the floor.
Well, missed opportunities, and they can certainly add up. You cannot afford to take that kind of shot.
That's good, going 1 of 2 from the line, and that gives them a 4-point cushion.
Let's remember, in Marc Gasol, we have got a guy who has worked hard on both his body and his game. We are talking about a former Defensive Player of the Year here.
And so the big win by Toronto in a tight game. It was